Just finishing my row. Can't show project mid-row. Strange. Almost there. Almost there. 3, 2, 1. And we're done. Ta-da. Hey there, and welcome to this first Summer Hours edition of the Sticks plus Twine podcast. This is officially episode 22, but it's episode 1 of Summer Hours, so let's get started. Wanted to say thank you to everyone for being patient with me, as I had intended to have this up quite some time ago, but if you follow me on Instagram, you'll notice that I've been doing a little bit of traveling on the weekends, which is normally when I podcast during the week. My schedule doesn't really truly allow me to sort of sit down and spend the time during the day that I'd like to spend talking to you. So apologies for the delay. So we're technically what should be I guess at least week 2. But you know what? That's fine. It's summer. Let's be relaxed about it, right? So let's get right away into... there's a couple of giveaways we have to sort out because we've got the 4,000 subscriber giveaway to talk about. And we've got the movie night sock cal, which came to a close. I have picked winners for all of that already, and I'm happy to announce those to you now. So I've got my laptop in front of me here where I've got the winners and their profiles. I've got a little bit of prizes here. I have put the movie night cal prizes in storage. But once I announce who those people are, I'd like to just get in touch and then we'll sort out which one goes to whom. Just because I wanted to make sure that they were nice and fresh and stuff. I do have the 4,000 subscriber giveaway already selected as well, and I've got that prize here just to show because I hadn't talked about that much just in one episode. I'm going to show you what I've been working on, the patterns that I'm using, and a little sneak peek for one of them. And it's like when I say it's a little sneak peek, it's a little sneak peek. Of course, there's the big news that we need to talk about, which is the launch of Devin from Handmade Woolen and I have launched our new magazine. So that'll be coming a little bit later this fall, so we can talk a little bit about that. So let's get started right on in. Okay, so let's get started. First of all, with the movie night sock cal. Wanted to say thank you so much to everybody for participating. We had a huge amount of response. I was really, really pleased. And, it was a bit of a chance because there's, a paid-for sock pattern is not particularly easy to run as a cal, and I appreciate everyone's support. I thought it was a lot of fun. Did I make the finish line? No. I have had a lot of problem with finishitis. I haven't finished anything in a long time because I want to cast on all the things. It's one of the problems of being, I guess, a podcaster is you kind of do want to knit all the things. So apologies for that, but I'm not eligible for prizes, but you guys are, and I have picked the winner of that one, and let me go. Okay, there's actually 2 winners, remembering. You each will get a popcorn bag, just like this one, from wonderful Allison of the Yarn Parlor. And you will also get a skein of yarn that will be coming from me. And the first winner for that one is Debbie Amy. Debbie is from Pennsylvania, and she did socks. I just want to go to where she was. Where was she? Okay, Debbie Amy did her 39 steps sock, which I thought was a lot of fun. I'm trying to find the post. I'll put a picture here so you can see what they look like. I thought it was really great. So she was the random choice that came up. So Debbie Amy, congratulations. Let's get in touch so we can get your prizes out to you. So the second winner is Dufferin24, and this is Eric's choice. So this is the one pattern that I really liked it. I thought it was fun and I appreciated it. And she had done Blush and Bashful Steel Magnolias movie night socks. So Steel Magnolias is one of my absolute favorite movies. Go figure. And I really liked this. She used a sad and lonely acrylic at the bottom of a pile of rich, expensive fibers. And I thought, good for you, honey, good for you. So Dufferin24 is Erin, and Erin lives in Canada. Where? I do not know. Somewhere in Canada. So assuming we don't have a postal strike, you may actually get your prize eventually as well. Anyway, so congratulations to Debbie and Aaron, and thank you so much to everyone for participating in the knit along. Really, really super appreciate it. So before we get into the 4,000 subscriber talk around that winner, let's just remind everybody that we are doing the void along, which is kind of fun. I love doing that. I can't help myself. So I have finished. I know a lot of you have finished. There's obviously a prize for that, and that will be both Katie and I will be donating prizes, $50 Canadian or £25 British sterling, gift cards to store of your choice. If we can get a gift card for it, it's yours. You do need to finish by the 17th. We will be drawing and presenting winners around that podcasting time. So you're probably wondering, haven't cast it on yet. Today is the 10th of July, 11th of July. Could I dash it? Could I get to the end of it? If you have a bit of a staycation happening, if you're not knitting on anything else at the moment, if you were monogamous, yeah, you could finish. So that's coming up next weekend. So not a long time to wait after all. So let's see how we do with that. I'm really, really pleased at how many people are loving this pattern. I myself cannot wait to knit another Melanie Berg. See point earlier, back if you scroll back to I want to cast on all of the things. So there you go. It is what it is. So let's talk about the 4,000 subscriber giveaway, because that was the big one. Thank you so much to everyone who participated. We had 411 entries, and I've left it basically open for the entire time until today, because today I said the next podcast I would choose the winner. Well, I'm podcasting. So the winner of that one was entry number 64, who is Junip, who is Jen. Jen is from Colorado. And Jen, you have won this lovely pair of Northbound Knitting skeins of yarn. I thought they were lovely colors together. They're very sea inspired. They're actually very me, a little lighter for me, but they're very, very, very much me. So Junip, thank you so much for being a member of the group, for subscribing, and for continuing to watch the podcast. Very much appreciate it. So I'm going to take a quick little break, and we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit about what's on my needles, what am I working on, and what's upcoming. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what I'm working on at the moment. I have 3 projects I'm going to share with you today. And remember when we talked originally about summer hours, the first episode was going to be about upcoming projects and planning and needles and yarn and what am I going to use. And then the second episode was going to be about sort of progress, how am I doing? So you're kind of getting a 2-for-1 in this episode. So let's start right on in. The first thing I'm going to talk about is, and as I pull this, apologies if the needles clack. You in the intro would have seen me finishing the row because I had stopped mid-row on. Now, this is a bit of a 2-for-1 itself. So this is Quince & Co. Finch in the honey colorway, and it never reproduces on camera, right? So don't even go by the color. It's a really cool gold mustard sort of color that I love. And I'm showing you actually the wrong side. Sorry, let me just pick up that needle so it doesn't clack. This is actually the wrong side. It will be used as a reverse stockinette panel. And I'll put that up. So it is the side panel for the Redford sweater. And I had swatched for this previously and did not hit gauge. So I went up a needle size and I started actually working on the actual live project on the side panel. And I'm going to block this and see how it turned out and see if I'm close to gauge or not. Because, tips and tricks point, when they say that you should be doing a chain stitch selvage edge, you should read all the instructions, not just one half of them, because I did it wrong. So I'm going to use this as my gauge swatch and see what happens. And if I really like it as this gauge, I will probably just rip it back and reknit it, because I messed up on the side. And I thought, and because the way it gets sewn up, the edge of the selvage actually is on the outside of the garment. So you don't want to have messed up like I did, and I changed midway through and blah, blah, blah. It's not right. I'm not liking it. So It's a big gauge swatch, and I'm happy about that because it will help me tell if I'm on gauge or not. Oops, sorry about that. And I really want to be on gauge with this sweater because a fingering weight sweater for me means it'll be a great layering piece, but I want it to be, oh, these needles are out of control today. Sorry about that. But I really want to see how this works out. First one. That swatch did not take me very long to knit, so it is what it is, right? The second one I'm going to show you is I have decided that I really wanted to do a pair of socks from Mina's collection of Beyond Vanilla Socks Part 1. So I cast on when I was traveling, and I'll talk about sort of travels in my little later in the podcast. I needed something for knitting that I could do kind of eyes closed, not really thinking about it. So I cast on for and that's the reverse side, for Mina's Beyond Vanilla Socks. This is the Pebbles pattern, which is really like you memorize it in about 3 seconds. It's really not that hard. This is a 72 stitch sock pattern. These are on my Addy Sock Rockets, which I think have become my preferred needle of choice for socks. I will put in all the information on what size of needles, because I honestly can't remember. I know I went down a size. I think it's 2.5 millimeters. I'll confirm. But I went down a size because I am finding a lot of sock yarn lately is quite thin, and I wanted a firmer sock when it's knit. So I went down a size, kept my stitch count to see how that worked out, and it seems to be working out fine. I did this is a 3x1 rib on the suggestion of the lovely Jenny from the Handmade in Woolen podcast. When I was thinking, I'm just tired of doing 2x2. I don't want to do twisted rib cuff, because if I'm knitting it, it's kind of semi-dark in the twilight. I really don't want to be worried about missing it. And twisted stitch, if you do it wrong, looks bad. If you miss a stitch and then you have to go back and fix it, and I couldn't be bothered. So I did a 3x1 rib, which actually I quite like. It's stretchy, but it's still firm, and I like that. I like my socks to stay up. This is you're wondering what's the yarn. The yarn is Woolen Vine. So Kristen, thank you so much. Kristen and I did a swap, and she'd gifted, sorry Nathan, from Sock Magician. He hates the verb gifted. Too bad. My podcast, my rules. Kristen gifted me this yarn, which in the skein looks amazing, but then obviously once it's wound up, looks even cooler. I love it. I've been lusting after this colorway for a while, and so I cast that on, and this has kind of been a traveling project for me. I've been traveling quite a bit, and it's kind of nice to have just something that folds up nice and small, and that I don't have to think about very much, and I can just sort of keep on with it. I'm just about to turn the heel. I will do a Fish Lips Kiss heel on this one. I think primarily just because I feel like with this colorway, it won't really truly matter whether or not I have stripes, because although it's really richly colored, it won't matter. I don't think so. I'm going to go with it. I'm going to do an FLK heel, and we'll see how we go from there. So that's my traveling socks project. Tips and tricks on this one. The only thing I think really that I have to add on this is my first time knitting with a BFL sock yarn. This is on her footsie base, and I'm really, really, really enjoying it. I love the fabric, the way it's turning out. It is firm. I am getting sort of the structure that I was hoping for with the going down and the needle size, just one size. And yeah, I'm pretty sure these are 2.5s because I normally do 2.75s. So I'm loving it, and I'm really, really, really liking how the BFL is turning out. So BFL for socks, there's your tip and trick all in one. I have one project left, and it is a sneak peek only because it is a design project that I am working on for Rib magazine, actually. Yes, I will have a pattern in the magazine, and I'm still working through some of the details, and I'm working through some of the construction stuff. It is a piece that I am not going to talk about very much. All I am going to show you is, okay, ready? I'm going to show you, I'm going to creep it up because I don't want to show all of it. There's a little bit of moss stitch. It is not a sweater. It is not a garment. It is a home accessory. That's all I'm going to say. So stay tuned. There will be more on this as we get closer. But this is a big swatch / working project all in one go. I am knitting this one on size 8 needles. These are Knit Picks. I forget what they call their new. It's not Knit Picks, sorry. Knitter's Pride in the wood needles. And it is being knit out of Rowan Superwash Pure Wool Worsted, which I actually really like for this project. It does not feel like superwash at all. It's got lots of good bounce and spring, and it's not got that slick kind of feel that sometimes superwash can have. It feels very, very natural. The only thing that I really, really, really would suggest, my tip and trick on this one, is Rowan is a commercial yarn. There are knots in this. There are joins. I have come across a couple of them, and I am not happy about it, and I forgot my own rule, which is, with Rowan, do not knit from the skein. You need to wind these, because if you find a knot in it, you do not want that knot in your knitting. And I was on a plane, and I didn't want to try and splice, and I didn't want to do any of that stuff, so I let it go on this one, but I know I can feel there's another knot in here. I was putting something into it. I was putting, the ball band kind of into the middle, and I felt there is another knot in here, and I'm not happy about it. I love the yarn, but I don't think having 2 knots in a skein is acceptable. I don't think I've ever come across any other brand really that does that. Maybe you have, but I haven't. So that said, wind your skein regardless, put it in a cake. That way, if you find it, you can deal with it, and you're not going to be sort of middle of a row going, oh God, what now? So that's my take on that. So take a little drink. What am I drinking today? It's Perrier. Simple. It's grapefruit Perrier. I love it. So we typically don't drink a lot of commercial sodas and stuff. We have a soda stream that we use, and we use it primarily for sparkling water. I don't like drinking water. I get bored by it really, really easily. So sparkling water was kind of our, I will drink sparkling water on the regular, not a problem, but we've ran out of gas. So we've got to go to the department store and pick up some new canisters for SodaStream. So I bought some Perrier in the meantime. There you go. Okay, so I'm going to take a quick little break, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to talk a little bit about what I've been up to and where I've been lately. Okay, so this is where I think I'm going to add this section for summer hours, which is going to be what I did on my summer vacation, when it's not really a vacation. So I'm actually quite busy with work during the week, but the weekends have been nice. So the last long weekend, which was really neatly bookended by Canada Day on the Friday and the 4th of July on the Monday, was a perfect time to travel. So I spent the evening driving on the 30th of June out to Rochester, New York, and then I drove the rest of the way on Canada Day to Vermont to go and visit the super, super awesome and amazing hosts, Jenny and Devin from Handmade Woolen. Anybody who's been watching the podcast for a while knows how much I love this couple. I love these people. And I went to sort of go and spend some time. And Devin and I clearly will talk about Rib in a moment. But we had some work to do, and we wanted to spend some time doing that in person. Anyone who's tried to collaborate virtually knows it can be challenging when you're trying to do... We both have full-time jobs, so it's kind of hard to get dedicated, focused time to do stuff. So we thought it'd be a good time to do that. So we did. Had a great time. We had amazing food. Devin's an amazing cook. Jenny's an awesome host. Colin behaved himself. He wasn't too bad at all. Jenny, he was lovely, so never worry about that. And we had, other than the fact that I broke one dish, which I still feel horrible about, it was relatively hassle-free, I hope. I know it was for me. I got to experience a very, very amazing Vermont thunderstorm that happened kind of within, I think it was like 10 minutes after I arrived, which was awesome. We had fire out at the fire pit. We did amazing photography. Of course, Devin's an amazing photographer. Jenny was just ever so patient with us as we were getting through all of that stuff. And yeah, we had a great time. It was a lot of fun. Had amazing pumpkin pancakes, and all the way through, it was just a great holiday. And then I drove home on the 4th of July, which I'm not going to lie, that's a long drive to do in one go. But I listened to about 8 episodes, I think, of Pomcast, which was awesome. I listened to some of it, but because my commute to work is so short, I don't really have time to listen to a lot of audio podcasts. So when driving, it was awesome to do that. So talk a little bit about Rib Magazine, because that's obviously what we were there to do. If you haven't already seen the launch video, which you would have because I think it was posted on this channel as well as Devin's channel and the new Rib channel as well, I will put it in right now. Hi, I'm Eric, host of the Sticks Plus Twine YouTube channel. I also own a marketing and communications agency.
Hi, I'm Devin. I'm the co-host of the Handmade and Woolen YouTube channel. I'm also a professional photographer and visual artist. As male knitters, we are often frustrated by the lack of really great men's knitting patterns, and when they are great, there's often a long time between new and interesting.
We could settle for adapting women's patterns, or we could adjust our expectations, or we could do something about it. We decided to do something about it, and today we're thrilled to announce Rib, a magazine about knitting for men and those who knit for them.
Our first issue will be out later this fall. We hope to inspire a whole new generation of men to take up knitting. You'll find features on knitting, spinning, and designing. You'll also find inspiring patterns from some new and exciting designers and some friends whose names you'll definitely recognize.
To find out more and to keep in touch until we launch, you can follow our Instagram feed, you can visit ribmag.com, or you can join our Ravelry group. By the way, if you're a writer or designer, we'd love to hear from you too, and you can find ways to keep in touch with us there as well. We can't wait to show you what we've been up to, and we'll see you later this fall. Okay, so that's a little bit about Rib. We are launching later this fall. Timing really is still to be determined specifically around that, simply because we've got a lot of work to do in a relatively short amount of time. Thank you to everybody who reached out with ideas or concepts or wants to contribute and participate. We absolutely have a place for you at some point in some issue. We know that. The first issue is pretty much baked in terms of what are the patterns that are going to be included, who are the designers that we're working with for this issue, the theme for this issue, all of that, it's already pretty much decided. The second issue and third issues are, the themes have been decided, and we will be issuing a call for submissions in the near future for those. So stay tuned. They're coming. It is coming. We're working on that as well. But in the meantime, if you are a guy who knits, if you didn't happen to catch it on Instagram, we are looking to hear from you. So if you email whyiknit@ribmag.com, we are taking submissions from guys who knit, and women. We'll talk about women knitting for men in another issue. But in this issue, we're really curious to hear from guys as to why you knit. So if you are interested in potentially having your response published in Rib Magazine, please do send it through. Try to keep it to 250 words or less. We've had a couple of submissions already, which are fantastic. And I'm really curious to know why you knit. Why? Why do you knit? So feel free, email us again at whyiknit@ribmag.com. So that's a little bit about Rib, as much as I can share right now. If you haven't visited the website, you can visit us at ribmag.com, where you can sign up for our newsletter. You can get in touch if you are a wholesaler or stockist, or a contributor or designer or a writer or just a fan who's looking forward to seeing what the magazine has to offer. You can let us know there. And we did send out our first email communication a little bit earlier later last week. I have to realize it's Monday. It's early in the week. So late last week on Friday, we sent out our first email newsletter, which was really just a thank you. So you can find out more there at ribmag.com. You can follow us on Instagram, and you can sign up for the newsletter. The big question everyone has been asking is, what about pre-orders? Can I order it now? We will be opening pre-orders a little bit later, probably by the end of July or early August. And that will also help us know how many to publish, right? It will be a print magazine. It's not going to be a digital magazine at this point. We really, really, really wanted to focus on something tangible, something physical that you could flip through, that you could put a bookmark in, that you could use a piece of string to hold your place, that you can highlight, that you could put notes in, that sort of thing. So a little bit easier to do because not everyone has a tablet with pen and all that fun stuff. So that's Rib Magazine. Now let's talk about my other little fun trip. How about that? Okay, so it is Monday. It is about 25 past 10. And somehow I am not jet lagged. This weekend was a very fun whirlwind trip to Italy. Before anyone starts going, oh, how much money do you spend on traveling and stuff, you have to remember that we're in the travel industry, so we get it's a little bit easier for us to travel than for most people. And when the opportunity comes along, we like to take advantage of it. So this is Sebastian and I, we went to Milan this weekend, which he and I had never been to. And I've been to Italy before, but I've never been to Milan. I've been to Rome and to Florence previously. And next year, we will be on a cruise that ends up in Venice. So I will see more of Italy again. So we flew on Friday night. We arrived Saturday morning. We spent the day, we sort of a bit of a rest, and then went out to Centro della Lana, which is I think it's the largest yarn shop in Milan, which was amazing. It's just floor to ceiling amazingness of yarn. I had to wait quite a while to be served, as it feels very much like a neighborhood, not so much local yarn shop, because of the way we would describe an LYS as sort of a community center at the same time as a place to purchase yarn. This was all about the sale, but the woman behind the counter was very chatty with the previous customer, so we had a bit of time to wait. It was freaking hot in Milan. I think it was 35 degrees Celsius. I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but it was hot and humid, and we'd taken the subway to get there. The metro is actually quite clean and efficient and easy to use. So we went there, and I did end up buying some yarn, which I have forgotten, so I will just have to pause here for a moment, and I will go get the yarn. It is very different than what we would consider sort of a North American thing. Skeins of yarn all come in balls, right? That's kind of the Euro way. And it's just like stack, 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 next color, stack, 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 next color. Tons and tons and tons of it. And it was hard to find sort of where the sock yarn was versus worsted and stuff. It was done more by brand, it felt like. And so anyway, it was interesting to try and navigate. But I did find what I was looking for, and that was this one. It wasn't specific that I was looking for an English tweed, but I was looking for something tweedy in a worsted that I could use. I've been really, really, really wanting to make the Akina scarf from the latest Wool People of Brooklyn Tweed. And that is a Carrie Robb design, and I was very, very tempted to go back to Brooklyn Tweed, and I've been talked out of it by a couple of people, and I may still at some point knit something else, maybe a sweater out of Brooklyn Tweed. I just love the way it feels when it's done. I know, but you know what? We'll talk about that later. Later. So this one, this is Lanigato. This is the English tweed. I saw this sitting there in a bunch of different colors and just saw it. It was like, oh, that actually might be fun. It is very different from what we would consider tweed. It's very obviously tweed. When I hold that up nice and close, maybe it will focus. If I pull my face away, you can see that it has really specific sort of the nips, I don't know what it's called, of color. And I thought it might be fun, and it's certainly a color that I will wear, that I will enjoy. It is 95% wool and 5% viscose, which I don't know about the viscose. What it really does, I guess it's nylon, but why it would have that there? Maybe it's maybe you know. If you know, tell me why. So this is made in Italy, which is what I was looking for. I wanted Italian yarn, and I got it. So it's 500 grams. It's 85 meters, or 93 yards approximately. So I have 11 of these, which is probably more than I need, but I wanted to be safe. And this was not that bad. This was €4 a ball. So for €44, which at current exchange rates kind of comes to about $66, far, far, far less than Brooklyn Tweed. So I'm happy to have that. And then I saw the Regia sock yarn. There wasn't a huge selection, but there was enough, and I felt bad about dragging Sebastian around. So I thought I would ask him to pick out a colorway for yarn that he might want for socks. So I did. This is the design line from Regia, Garden Effects by Kristen Nicholas, and it is purples and kind of a teal and a soft gray, sort of a mauvey gray, and then like down to a charcoal. And I have 2 balls of this. Again, this was also €4, which in Toronto, these are a lot more money for that. So I was really happy to pick that up for him. So those will be socks for Sebastian. Pattern yet to be determined. And then I saw another one that was also part of the design line by Kristen Nicholas. This one does not have the same sort of information as to which effects it is. However, I really liked it. I thought it was fun. It's colorful. They had a sample knit out of this in the shop. And I think what really got me was the green. The green was just really kind of cool. It reminds me of a really interesting color. Like, it does remind me of a garden sort of palette. With the blues and the sort of rosy colors in it and some orange. Not so much what I would consider my typical colorway, but I might be branching out. For socks, I'm branching out. What can I say? I like a colorful sock. What is this one? Oh, this is actually made in Italy, this one, which is kind of interesting. I didn't realize this one was made in Italy. 75% wool, 25% polyamide. And this one, it should be the same. I think it is. Yep, it's the same. Where's this one made? I'm curious now. This one is also made in Italy. So look at that. I got 3 made in Italy. There you go. So what else did we do? After we went to the shop, we went there first because we knew that on the train line it was the furthest place to go out to, so we did that. Then on the train line on the way back, we stopped at the Duomo, of course, so we saw the Duomo. Right next to it is the very famous Galleria for relatively high-end shopping. Milan, of course, being a fashion capital, is where you go to buy like Prada and Versace and stuff. We went into the Vuitton store. Prada and Versace, not so much my style. They were beautiful storefronts, but definitely the Vuitton was my favorite. Went into a bookstore there to just poke around. We sat and had a little cocktail at Camparino. So Campari being one of my favorite drinks from Italy, which I adore. And then we had a nice meal, which was, the service was a bit crappy, to be honest. But and the one thing I thought was really surprising is that Milan doesn't have a huge number of tourist attractions. It's not like when you go to Rome, where you could spend months in Rome looking at different places to go. Even to try and cram in the big sites in a couple of days can be challenging. So Milan around the Duomo is kind of the cluster. And I don't expect when I travel that people speak English. I don't expect it at all. I will do my best to muddle my way through. As a really experienced traveler, sign language gets you through a lot, pointing at things you like and know, and a big smile will do a lot. So here we were having dinner in, it was actually at the Galleria, right next to the Duomo. So we're talking heavily touristed. and by all colors and nationalities and creeds. You could just tell by clothing and languages that you heard. It was quite cosmopolitan in a lot of ways. And it was shocking that there was almost a sense of dismay when you didn't speak Italian. I thought, whoa, wait a second. I get that. I get that you don't speak English, and I'm okay with that, but to sort of give me a dirty look because I don't speak Italian? Really? Strange. Anyway, it was maybe just a bad days, maybe just that shop that we were in, but whatevs, right? It was just my experience. But it was overall, it didn't bother me at all. I just thought, oh, okay, it was something to note. And then we just walked back to the hotel. We had a good night's rest, and then we flew home. That was it. That was short and sweet. So the last 2 weekends, like I said, have been pretty heavy travel weekends. I am not planning on traveling again till at the earliest the end of the month, which may be another quick little surprise journey, which I may or may not decide to share. Who am I kidding? Of course I'm going to share. I don't think that will be a Yarny related adventure. That will be, if that happens, it will be to somewhere I've never been, and it's going to be kind of fun too. So of course I will bring you along for the ride. I do like to save most of my videos and photographs and things that I take along the way to share with you here on the podcast. I do share some on Instagram, so if you're interested, please do make sure that you follow me there. Anyway, I think that's it for this episode. I need to clean this stuff up, put things back to rights, and then I need to get to the office. It's not a major busy day today, but I do have some deliverables that I have to get done. So I'm going to take care of that. And until next week, when we will be looking at things in progress, and I'm going to go back to my normal schedule for summer hours, that is. And so that should be fun. All of the winners today, please do reach out and get in touch with me, and we'll make sure that we get you sorted away with your prizes and make sure that that's happening. It looks like the Canada Post strike may or may not be happening now, so stay tuned. We'll see how we go. Other than that, have a great week, and I hope you are having a lovely summer, and happy knitting. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye. Morning, everyone. So it is Canada Day today, and you guys asked for a bit of more adventures, Yarny adventures, and I'm happy to announce that, yay, it's Canada Day, and I'm actually on my The World Needs More Canada tour at the moment. I'm on my way to go and visit some very special friends.